Hi guys, so welcome to this new video. We are going to discuss swapping today. So swapping basically means when you have two variables and they have certain values, then you swap their values. So for example, suppose I have a variable A and I have a variable B. Now A is assigned a value 10 and B is assigned a value 20. So when we swap them, A would be assigned the value 20 and B would be assigned the value 10. So that's basically a simple definition of swapping. Now, swapping is very important when you are using any sorting algorithms. Why? Because when you are doing sorting, you are actually swapping the variables or the values of indexes in that particular array. Any kind of sorting algorithm you're using. Swapping is the heart of any sorting algorithm. So that's the reason we are going to discuss swapping in details and what are the ways in which you can swap two numbers with temporary variable, without temporary variable, using arithmetic operations, using bitwise operations. So let's get started. So first of all, the very simple way of swapping two numbers is by using a temporary variable. So when we try to swap two numbers, the use of temporary variable is needed. Why? Because you need to keep track of those numbers. So suppose if I take an example, I take 10 into A and 20 into B. Now, if I try to swap their values without a temporary variable, if I assign the value of B to A, where would I get the value of A again from? Because it's now assigned the value of B, and now we don't have the value of A anywhere else. That is the reason we need to store the value of A first into a temporary variable. Now when we have that value of A in a temporary variable, it's saved there. So when we assign the value of B into A, our value of A, which was there before initially, is stored in a temporary variable safely. So it doesn't get overridden on the temporary variable, it just gets overridden on the value on the variable A. Now, as and when A is assigned the value of B, now we want to assign the value of A, which was there initially, to B, right, to swap them. Now we have the value of A initially, which was in the temporary variable. So what we do, we assign that temporary variable to B. So now we have the value of A, which was initially 10, to B. We have moved it to B, and the value of B, which was 20, to A. So when you try to print them, it would basically be printing 20 and 10. So let's see this in action. So now you see I have just copied that program into this online Java compiler. So if you see, I have just done that using a temporary variable. So I have taken A as 10, B as 20. I have used the temporary variable for swapping, and I am just printing the swapped variable values. So I'll just execute this one. And as you see, the swap value of A is 20 and the swap value of B is 10. But we had taken them as 10 and 20 initially. So they are swapped successfully using a temporary variable. Now let's discuss another method of swapping two numbers without using a temporary variable. So as I've already discussed, that whenever you want to swap values from two variables, you need a temporary variable. Why? Because you want to keep the value of A somewhere so that it doesn't get overridden when you assign B to A, right? Now what we can do is we can use arithmetic operations like plus and minus in order to do the same thing. So the first thing what we do is we add both the numbers and assign the value to A. Now when we add those numbers, so suppose for example we have taken 10 and 20, the sum would be 30. So 30 is assigned to A. What we do in the next step is we subtract the value of B from A. So what it will do is it will reduce the value of B from the total sum, and it would assign the actual value of A, which was there initially, to B. So now we see we have the value of A into B, which is assigned to B. Right. Now B is assigned the value 10, as you see here. Now when we do that operation again on the next step, we assign it to A. Why? Because now the value of B is changed. So when we do A minus B, as we have not assigned anything to A yet, A is 30 here and B is 10, because the value of B is swapped. Now when you do A minus B again, it would do 30 minus 10, that's 20. So the value of A would be assigned 20. So as you see now, B is assigned 10 and A is assigned 20. So they are swapped. So this is the way you can use arithmetic operations like addition and subtraction to do swapping. Now let's see the implementation of the same algorithm. So let's do it as a equal to a plus b, b is equal to a minus b, and a is equal to a minus b, as we did there. And let's see. Okay, there's a all right. Okay, so now let's run this and see if that works. Great. So we have swapped them successfully using arithmetic operations plus and minus. So now we are going to discuss the new way, or the third way basically, to swap two numbers. Now we have used a temporary variable and arithmetic operations plus and minus for swapping before. Now the third method is using divide and multiplication. So those are also arithmetic operations, but they are like different operators. So now what we do is, when we don't want to use a temporary variable, what we do is we multiply both the numbers and assign that value of multiplication to a. Now again, similarly what we did in the arithmetic operations, what we do is we assign to b the value of a divided by b. So what will happen is, as we have multiplied both of them, for example, if we have taken 10 and 20, in the first step we get the multiplication as 200, which is assigned to a. Now when we do a divided by b, so b is 20, right? So when we divide a by b, we get the value of a. Now again, when we do that in the third step, what we do is we again do a divided by b and assign it to a. Now previously when we assigned the value to b, it was 10. Now when we have assigned the value of value 10 to b, so in the third step the calculation will change. It would be dividing 200 by 10. So the value comes out as 20. So as you see, the value which was assigned to a is now being assigned to b, and the value which was assigned to b initially is now being assigned to a. So they are swapped. Now let's see that in action. Now as you see here, this is the code for using in multiplication and divide arithmetic operations in order to swap two variables. Execute this. Okay, so now you see, as the value of a is 20 and the value of b is 10. So they are swapped. Okay, so there is a third way we can do swapping of two numbers, is using the bitwise XOR operator. So what bitwise XOR operator does is it will convert these numbers into binary forms. So suppose if I have a as 10 and b as 20, it will convert both of them into binary, and what it will do is it will compare each of the bit positions. And it is going to compare each of the bits, and it will return 1 if any of the bits either on the left side or on the right side are 1, but not both of them are 1. So it will return 0 if both of them are 0. It will return 0 if both of them are 1, but if any of them are 1 and the other one is 0, it will return 1. So that's how the bitwise XOR works. Now it's a simple way. You just have to assign the value of bitwise XOR of a and b to a, then again you have to assign the same value to b, and then again you have to assign the same value to a again. So it's simple. It's just something that you can memorize, and that's the third way that you can swap two numbers. Okay, so let's see the bitwise XOR operator in action to swap two numbers. So as you see, what I've done is I've just assigned the bitwise XOR of a and b to a firstly, then again to b, and then again to a. So these are the three operations that you have to keep in mind, and you'll be able to swap those numbers. So let's execute it and see if it gives the correct result. Okay, perfect. So as you see, the value of a is now into b and b is now into a. So we have swapped successfully using bitwise XOR operators. Hey guys, so that was all for this video, and in this video we've discussed swapping through a temporary variable, then swapping through arithmetic operations like plus and minus, swapping through arithmetic operations multiply and divide, and also swapping through using bitwise XOR operator. So we are going to bring a lot of new videos like this related to programming concepts, which are very important And do like and share this video if you like, if you like what we did, and if you understand those concepts that we have just like explained in this particular video. And do subscribe the channel for the new updates and new videos. And welcome to Code to Learn.